growing threat of North Korea and Pyongyang's capability to launch the rocket. Specifically, Admiral Harry Harris, he was telling the Armed Services Committee that Hawaii defenses were sufficient for now, but could one day be overwhelmed in an onslaught. I don't share your confidence that North Korea is not going to attack either South Korea or Japan or the United States once they have the capability, Harris said. He could not comment on the precise capability of the U.S. defenses, but said, I do believe that the numbers could be improved. In other words, we need more interceptors. So what does all of this mean? Hawaii lawmakers have already been scrambling to come up with emergency plans in the event of a North Korean attack. They've been going through drills, real stuff here to figure out how the Hawaii House Public Safety Committee can deal with all of these particular things and to repair its hundreds of Cold War era fallen shelters. A lot of them are just mothballed. Some of them work, some of them don't, but they're Cold War era fallout shelters, and they were tasked with restocking them with medical supplies, food, water. And the state's emergency plans have been updated since the Oh, they haven't? They have not been updated. So it's a major overhaul. And really a lot of our cities, not just Hawaii, but New York and Los Angeles, etc., are really looking at all these particular things. Different times we live. Some of you might remember the Cuba Missile Crisis. I wasn't born yet. I was born in 1970. But my mother told me stories about actually having to get under the desk. I don't know how you felt about that, or if you remember that, but that may have been a little dramatic, thinking, wait a second, I'm getting under the desk, so something could actually be coming through the roof. Oh, my goodness gracious. But they did that to try to protect people because they thought it was a real threat at that time. So I am sure that if you went to school during that time, you remember. So I would not be surprised if there's not more of those particular things happening, given the strained relations with Russia, with Iran, Saudi Arabia, ISIS. I mean, we have a lot of threats, a lot of them. And a lot of them, yes, are homegrown, as we've seen with this officer. Terrorism comes in many, many styles, but we're talking about the missile type, the drone type, what scares me. What you can strap to a drone these days, which our military does, but now what, any one of us could get a hold of a drone and strap that thing on and put some stuff on there. So chemicals that could be sprayed in the air that could knock out a bunch of people in Manhattan. New York has actually been trying to figure that scenario out, and a lot of other cities as well across the country. So we're kind of up on that, and don't be surprised again if you have kids in school, if they don't have some of these similar things they had in the 1960s because of these escalations going on. And I had predicted months ago, just because of what I was hearing, that we were going to have some kind of showdown over the summer. And I don't wish it by any means, but I'll tell you, if these folks get a hold, Iran or North Korea, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurt. A lot of people. And they have some things that could cause some damage in South Korea, which is just really a stone's throw away with conventional weapons that are not nuclear that can really wreak havoc over there. And so that's really worrisome, where you got 150,000 plus military personnel there in South Korea, and then you have a population over there, 1 million plus. It's a lot of folks. So that's very scary for those folks. I mean, you think about now terrorism, who has to deal with this every single day with the Palestinians is Israel. So when you hear Benjamin Netanyahu, when he was giving his big appeal to the UN, when Obama ignored him, something happens over here, you think Obama's going to try to be protecting his kids? You betcha. And every parent would be doing the very same thing. It's a marvel that Israel survives. But guess who funnels in money for the Palestinians to do what they do each and every day? Guess who? You know it's Iraq. Not Iraq. Well, with the insurgency there, Iran does it because they're funding all sorts of terrorism still in that whole region, in Syria, etc., and all over the world. It's deplorable, and they get away with it. I would not be surprised if Trump throws on a lot more sanctions on Iran because, man, they've been caught a million times in the cookie jar. It's just ridiculous. And it is a very fearsome time. But this is stuff like out of Revelation. I'm telling you, the end times. You read that book, it sounds like it. So if you're ever in it, even if you don't believe it, you read that and you say, okay, wow, that guy from thousands of years ago, he may have been onto something with that information because it sounds like stuff that comes out of the front page. Every day I read it, and I'm a firm believer of the Bible, but Lord have mercy. Okay, folks, let's make a difference in America by promoting For the People. Tell your friends about it. We are listener-supported. We count on your generous donations each and every day. But specifically for this News Reporter magazine, well, it's not a magazine, it's a book. It was a paper circulated in 92 and 93. It's 2 years of papers in best writing and commentary by author and national talk show host. He's retired, Chuck Harder, in his first edition of the News Reporter, years 1 and 2. It can be yours. Buy your ticket today for $25. It helps keep For the People on the air. Keith Allen, For the People, all the best. May God bless.